Hi, I'm Andrea Jensen, and I'm back with video number 2. So first off, I want to say thank you to everyone that got back to me and shared with me what drives your ambition, what you're doing to figure out what your part is going to be to close the gender gap. And I want to just acknowledge to everybody watching this video and everybody that took a couple minutes yesterday to reflect on the things that drive you, that are exciting for you, and that are going to move your career forward, because it's really great to talk about leadership and think about other people, but before you can step up and lead others and be that role model, holding up the mirror and looking at yourself is the best first step that you can take. So I just want to acknowledge that I'm proud of you for doing that, because it's not easy looking at yourself and doing that personal groundwork and doing that self-reflection. So I want to jump right into the opportunity that I see. So there is a huge opportunity for us to close the gender gap in the workplace and create more opportunities for women to thrive at work. So right now in North America, we will see equality in the workplace in 167 years. And that is in the whole world 202 years. It's actually worse. North America is a little bit ahead of the rest of the world. And for a lot of people, it's depressing. And you might be watching this video thinking, why is this woman so excited about the gender gap? It's because I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the possibility that we can change this, that we can make this number lower, that we can all step up and do something, even if it's small. And if all these little steps move together, then we can see equality in our lifetimes. It's kind of one of those things where we need all hands on deck. And the idea of everybody moving towards something, that's really exciting for me. And so when I say all hands on deck, that means me, that means you, that means your employer, that means your HR department, that means our government, that means our school system, it means universities. It pretty much means everybody that is an adult can really step up and do something to work towards equality in the workplace. But the thing is, I can't make this decision for you. Your boss can't make it for you. Your partner can't make it for you. Your HR department can't make it for you. It's a decision that you need to make. Do you want to step up and do your part and figure out what you can do to make the workplace better for women? Or do you want to sit back and take the risk that somebody else is going to figure it out? So when I started doing this work a couple of years ago, I made the decision to take action. And really what happened is I built this whole business around that. And where it's morphed into today is that I work with companies to get more women into leadership, and I do it two ways. So I work with companies from the top down, so talking to their senior leadership team and figuring out what are the things that they can do to get more women into leadership and make the workplace culture better for women. So that's one way that I work with people. And the other way is with individual women just like you, and I help women really see that thing that they want to strive for, figure out what drives their ambition, and do things to fuel it every day and strive for that next level in their career. It's about creating opportunities, it's about taking risks, it's about putting yourself out there, because we need to move from the top down and we need to move from the bottom up, or else things are not going to change. And the interesting thing about that is I work with women, but I also work with men, because the reality is today, most senior leaders in organizations are men. So I work with a lot of men and I work with a lot of women. So now you might be thinking, what does taking action even mean? And I want to tell you about two of my clients, and they're actually very similar, but they work at different companies and they absolutely do not know each other. They both work in male-dominated industries, and they went through my coaching program, and both of them kind of realized that they had something more that they were striving for, and I like to call it the bigger yes. So it's that one thing that you want to focus on that's going to make your career better, or that's going to make your company better. And for them, gender diversity was really top of mind for them, and they decided, you know what, this is what I want. This is going to be really important to me, and I'm going to take action towards that. And both of them figured out that in order to get ahead and in order to be that role model, open door for other people, they needed to engage men. So one of them actually did that through her own company, got some male senior leaders on board, started talking about the gender gap with them because they have more influence. They had more influence than she did in the company to make things move forward. And the cool thing is, things moved forward, and their gender diversity strategy is pushing ahead. Things are happening in their company, and that's because this woman really focused on that one idea of getting men on board. The second one, she decided that her action and her thing was going to be the same thing. Her bigger yes is really, I want to get beyond just having women involved in these conversations. I really believe that we need to get men on board. And for her, she did it through a professional association. So she used her connections and she started the conversation with someone in one of the professional associations for her industry, and they got on board, and now they're using their influence to get other people in other companies on board. So it's kind of really cool when you look at what one person can do, because you might be thinking, you know what, I'm just one person, I don't have a lot of influence, there's no point in even trying. But these two women are no different than you, and they just decided that they wanted to step up, figure out what they wanted to do, and then just took the first step to do it. So I want you to take a minute right now and grab a notebook and write down, do a brain dump, do a brainstorm of all the things that would make your job better, and write down some things that would make your workplace better for women and help women thrive, help women strive for those leadership levels. So write down a whole list and then choose one. Choose one thing. And then I want you to commit to starting on that one. And it doesn't need to be big. It can be a tiny little action step. It could be just, you know what? I'm going to mention this idea to one other person that I work with. That can be your action plan. So just go out, pick one thing, and do it. So I know some of you might be thinking there's no point. My company is the worst for women. And it's interesting because every time I meet somebody new and they learn about what I do, they tell me that. So the truth is, the workplace is not great for women anywhere, because if it was, we would not be seeing this gender gap that is so huge, and we wouldn't see so few women rising into leadership. Because the truth is, at every single level, even at the first level of management, men are rising at a faster rate than women. So this is a systemic issue. It's in every company. It's all over North America. It's all over the world. So this is an issue. It's not just your company. You're definitely not alone. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, Andrea, this is not relevant for me. My company is really good for women. And I want to challenge you, if you're thinking that, to really look at all the levels of leadership and see, is it 50-50? What do the numbers look like in your company? Or are maybe there are a few token women, or are women really concentrated at a certain level of leadership? Because what the numbers tell us, so at the very top for CEOs in Canada, it's 5% that are women. And kind of the level below that, I believe it's around 18%. So we're not really seeing a big chunk of women in the averages. Like maybe there's a few outliers out there. And if you discover that your company is, that is amazing, and I would love it if you could reach out to me and tell me the name of your company, because I want to know these companies that are kind of going against the grain and are above average for getting more women into leadership. So the next thing you might be wondering is, why is Andrea making me do all this personal reflection and making me do all this personal growth? Because the gender gap is not about me, it's about all women. So if I just show up and talk about it and do those kind of things, like, isn't that enough? But the thing is, if you want to be a role model, if you want to you need to put yourself out there, you need to use your influence, you need to talk to people. And the thing is, the best way to get started is to really understand yourself. It's basic leadership principles, is that you have to hold up the mirror. You got to do that personal work on yourself before you're really able to influence others. And understanding yourself makes it so much easier to take action, to put yourself out there, because you know yourself, you know what's important to you, and it's motivating for you to do that. So I really want to encourage you to do that, because this is super, super important. So in my next video, I'm going to be sending out another video this week. I am going to bring it all together and really help you to figure out what your role is going to be in closing the gender gap, because I know it can be overwhelming and I know you may not know where to start. But in the next video, I'm going to talk about what you can do and what that first step can be for you so that you can figure out what your role is going to be in taking part in closing the gender gap. So let me know what you're going to do. Let me know that one thing that you're going to focus on, and let me know that action that you're going to take today to move things forward, because I want to hear from you. So comment on my social media or send me an email, and look out for my next video later this week. Thank you.